Is it legal or trespassing?
No, this is legal. Holy shit.
Each and every year, strange signs miraculously appear overnight in fields of crops. Most of them occur in England, close to the mysterious zone of Stonehenge. This unexplained phenomena is widely known as crop circles. We cannot deny their existence. They are real.
Who's doing it? Why? Where from? What do they want to tell us?
Aliens, I don't know.
Since the 1970s, enthusiasts, journalists, and independent researchers have tried to crack the mystery of these strange imprints that are best viewed from above.
Something amazing is happening, and we don't really know what it is.
We don't know where they come from. We could believe all sorts of things or even assume it's reality. We don't know what it is.
Signs from nature, alien messages, a hoax, paranormal activity, or the result of unexplained meteorological or physical phenomena.
There's this whole, we've this whole multi-dimensional reality happening right next to us now, and we're just not tuned into it.
Something really weird is going on here.
Few scientists have explored the mystery of crop circles, possibly through fear of ruining their career. However, many independent researchers are trying to reveal the secret, and despite all of today's modern technology, the enigma behind the crop circles phenomena remains a modern mystery. Or does it? Known as crop circles, due to their spectacular geometric patterns that are often, but not always, circular. They seem to appear for no reason, and without eyewitnesses, in fields of crops. They can appear to be quite simple, or staggeringly large and sophisticated. Most of them appear during the summer months, before harvesting. Southern England, in the region of Wiltshire, a triangle between the villages of Avebury, Devizes, and Pewsey, is recognized as being the core of the phenomena. Welcome to the sacred zone of Neolithic mysteries close to Stonehenge and Silbury Hill, where many rites and superstitions were born.
There are not many places where you can see that someone intelligent has been drawing in large format for free in the heart of nature since several centuries.
Philippe Oulens was forced to jostle his life priorities 15 years ago when serious health problems almost cost him his life. He resigned from his life in the heart of Parisian business skyscrapers to fully live his passion for crop circles. Today he lives in Avebury and spends his time photographing and exploring the phenomena. He is well aware that the best way to see them is from above.
If you're lucky enough to see them from above, they're stunning. They're really impressive and somehow reach out to you. I don't know of any other phenomena that repeats itself each year in such a massive way than here in Avebury. It's so beautiful. We know that crop circles are not a recent event, therefore not some kind of secret weapon from God knows who. Neither modern nor technological, they're ancient.
Crop circles could well be today's contemporary echo to the vast esoteric and mystical legacy of England. They remind us of ancient times when stone circles, sacred places, and legends were at the heart of people's beliefs. One clue comes from the past. Two historic lines of energy are said to stretch across the Isles, one running north-south, the other east-west. Where the two lines cross happens to be at the heart of the crop circle zone, passing just a few meters from some of England's most historic sites.
This is the village of Avebury. We're not sure how old the village is, but over 5,000 years. And this circle appeared on the 1st of August 2012. Every year, over 150 crop circles appear worldwide.
Most of them appear in England, but they can also be seen in Germany, Holland, Italy, France, and as far as America, Canada, and Australia. They all share one particular point, their perfect geometry.
It's sacred geometry. They're mandalas. It's a language that's as old as the universe, and it's used here in Europe since the dawn of time because many of these figures are inspired by the Celts.
Whatever the origins of crop circles, their fascination is undeniable. Millions of tourists flock to Wiltshire every year in the hope to see and understand the mystery. Some in search of a rational explanation, others in a quest for spirituality.
Just measuring the sort of electromagnetic field of the crop circle, really.
What, electromagnetics?
Well, the magnetics, yeah, that the area's giving out.
What's that gone? Is that so that's a 4. Over there where Kelly is, it was registering at a 6. Up there it's at a 5, so it's at different levels.
Really.
That's quite high. This is a very geomagnetic active area, so you kind of have to take background readings of the actual area to make sure you're not just sitting on a bit of a geoelectric magnetic hotspot.
How does that feel?
The heart was going a bit, not erratic, but it was going faster.
Pulsations, electromagnetic vibrations, energy, sensation of well-being. There does seem to be a crop circle effect. The energetic and mystical power of crop circles has always fascinated visitors. An article from 1678 reads, "No mortal man was able to do the like."
They didn't know who did it, so they said it was the work of the devil.
Each era seems to have its answers on the phenomena. During the Second World War, several Luftwaffe pilots sighted crop circles in Germany.
The Germans thought the English made them, that the crop circles on German soil were coded message for the British Air Force. We do have a very rational way of looking at the world around us, our universe. We seem to believe that they can only be made by humans. We always seek out a rational answer. But what was logical during the war was not at all logical. For them, it was common sense.
When we asked local farmers about crop circles, even the elderly recall seeing them when they were kids.
England was marked by a boom of crop circles in the 1990s. Some farmers took advantage of the attraction. Tim Carson says he's had over 120 crop circles mysteriously appearing on his land.
And in 1990, we sold T-shirts and key rings and did helicopter rides, and we had, 20, 30, 40,000 people come because it was the first time anything like that had occurred. And then for the few years after, we allowed people in and charged people to come in. We were getting so many, and we were putting money boxes out in the field, honesty boxes, but people just used to break into them, and so I said, that's enough, enough's enough.
In the long term, the farmers got tired of so many tourists who would add to the damage by crushing the stems with their feet, walking straight through fields. The crops are the farmers' principal source of income, and the damage is estimated between 700 and 1,400 euros per crop circle.
I was working on the farm, and I heard this helicopter, and 20 minutes later, it was still hovering over this field and circling and circling and circling. And I was standing thinking, what the hell are they doing?
It is hard to find most crop circles at ground level. To help guide hunters who do not have a helicopter, they are regularly tracked down and published on the web. Mobile applications geolocalize them on a daily basis, to the farmer's despair.
I got in the car and drove up here, and the helicopter sort of soon disappeared. And when I arrived, there were two women were walking out of the field, and I said, "Excuse me, this is private property. What are you doing?" And they said, "You've got a crop circle." And I was very concerned, having heard it had gone viral on the internet. I phoned the local police station and said, "I've got a problem here."
The fact is, most of the crop circles materialize on private property. While the farmers do all they can to hide their position, the tourists do all they can to track them down. Two places at each end of the southern line of the triangle attract visitors in search of new crop circles. One in the countryside, the other in town. In the town of Devizes, crop circles can only recently be seen at the local museum. It's the first time since the early apparitions of crop circles in England in the late 1960s that the public establishment is holding an exhibition and thus recognizes their historic heritage. Monique Klinkenberg, an independent researcher, is in charge of the exhibition, a collection of aerial photographs that question the neighborhood.
The locals heard about crop circles, but they're not aware of the visual impact. And also the farmers, they see on the ground something happened, but it looks like a mess normally. And when they see the pictures, they're really like, wow, is this in our backyard?
People, they just love them because it's a piece of art or because it seems to draw lots of people together. It's a social event.
20 kilometers east of the museum, along the Pusey Canal, a container at the rear of the Barge Inn is the place to be for the latest news and information available for crop hunters.
Where this turning is here, Avery Truslow, it's just before that on the left. So if you were coming down, and there's a little sign in the hedge.
Charles Mallett has been studying the mystery for the past 18 years and shares his up-to-date knowledge with the crop hunter community.
People rely on other people for their information, and obviously sometimes that's bad information, but they take it anyway. The vast majority of those people are wandering about without any much sense of direction, where, because the circles are generally in pretty obscure locations, and if you didn't know this landscape, then you just don't know where they are. So So I opened a cafe, put a map on the wall, and within days we were swamped with people from all over the world, and it was like a madhouse. Someone's flying right now, actually, just to see if they can see any new ones.
It's a race against time for Monique. She has just been called by someone in her network. A new crop formation has been discovered. Her goal is to be the first person on site in order to investigate.
Oh, this man is driving so slow. We are on our way to a farmer. We just heard there is a crop circle on his field, and we do hope that we get his permission to examine and explore the formation, and also if he would be willing to allow public access.
Monique hopes to find out if the new formation is made by humans or a mysterious phenomenon.
The biggest problem is now, will he mow it out straight away? But I know who the farmer is, and I think he will be willing to at least allow some researchers into his field. But I don't think he will allow public access. Lucky shot. What? It's the farmer standing there.
Monique Klinkenberg is anxious. She desperately needs Tim's permission in order to enter his property.
Can I have your permission to have a look at the ground?
Yeah, which field though, is it?
Well, it's about here.
Yeah, well, there's one up in there.
Okay. So you were aware there was something?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Why didn't you phone me?
Well, I thought everybody knows.
No.
Oh. Well, it's not on the website yet.
No, no, no.
Which is a good job.
No, we...
You can just go up there.
Okay.
But the gamekeeper might chase you out.
Okay. As long as I have your permission and I'm not shot.
Yeah, well, good luck.
Today, Tim is exhausted by crop circles that take up too much of his time and money. He's convinced there's nothing mysterious about crop circles. For him, they are all made by human beings.
He's pissed off, yes. He doesn't want any formation on his field. He just had enough after, 25 years of crop circles. And, yeah, he just cuts them out.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I can understand the farmers, but of course, as a researcher, my heart breaks because the research is gone.
Monique wants to see the new formation before Tim cuts it out, in order to understand if it is made by humans or a true mystery.
Is that legal or trespassing?
No, this is legal.
With the farmer's approval, Monique joins her team already on site.
Holy shit. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. You spotted it.
The team want to be the first people on site, just like at a crime scene, in order to collect clues, tracks, and any information that might help reveal the mystery of crop circles.
It's always a surprise what you will see on the ground. And it's so lovely that it's on such a beautiful location and nobody's here except us.
It seems that Monique and her team are the first to enter the field. But what are they looking for?
We're looking for facts, for evidence, and oh wow. Okay. It looks like a kind of woven thing, eh, Niels? Ah, it looks nice. If it's man-made, you clearly see repeating crushes on the stems, which we don't see now.
Monique has the feeling this crop circle is not man-made. The drone will help the team get an overall aerial view of the design. The result is absolutely breathtaking. They will film the formation and archive the images for a future exhibition at the local museum. Suddenly, Monique is worried as the gamekeeper appears in the distance and he doesn't seem to be happy.
How did you get here?
Through where you came, yes?
It's vandalism. End of story. But if it's being done by outer space, that's different.
Outer space?
Whatever, aliens, I don't know. Some of them are very clever, not this one.
Well, the centre looks good.
That's the first one I've ever been in, and I've been here 25 years.
Monique is glad she asked permission from the farmer. Gamekeepers have been known to fire a shot in the air to scare away unauthorized intruders.
How would you like it if I went into your garden, trashed the place of your prize crop, take photographs of it, film it from the air, make money out of it, and not offer you any compensation at all? I think it's unbelievably rude. And there is, technically, if I had done it to your garden, they would call the police out. It's criminal damage.
The farmers came up with a radical approach to the problem. Destroying the crop circles as soon as they were discovered, ruining the pattern and therefore avoiding further damage to their crops by the feet of wary crop hunters.
It does piss me off because why do they speak to me? You know, if it is aliens doing it, that's fine. I'm not convinced it is at all. It's a tourist attraction. There must be money in this somewhere. Somebody's doing it for a reason. It must be highly organised.
A lot of people would have those vandalists removed from the scene, and that the truth comes back.
What is the truth?
Well, something we don't know, a mystery, unexplainable. I don't know. Nobody knows so far.
If the mystery remains for many crop seekers, for most farmers and gamekeepers, it's all a massive hoax. The first British scandal breaks out in 1991. Doug and Dave, two retirees, speak to the press. They claim that over the past 15 years, they created more than 100 crop circles. The English are in shock. Are Doug and Dave telling the truth, or is it all a pack of lies?
The two old folks claimed to have made hundreds until a true crop circle appeared right next to them. They stopped because they were terrified. We saw these so-called crop makers make their speech, saying how they were retiring and therefore there would be no crop circles the next year. Well, we've never seen so many crop circles here before, and they're all absolutely stunning.
People have been making crop circles for TV commercials for years and years, and promotional advertising, whatever, but we examine those circles and we see the nature and the pattern of damage produced by people. So we'll take that information, that data, to any given circle, like this one, for instance, and if we see the similar patterns of damage, you know, a man with a plank of wood going crunch, 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 over plants leaves a very particular pattern of damage.
a team of 3 accepted to create a crop circle exclusively for our cameras. You will not see their faces as they wish to remain anonymous. In this barley field, the final result, a circle 50 meters in diameter, is highly convincing. Our cameras testify that humans can produce sophisticated crop circles with just a few planks of wood and a bit of string. But it took 8 hours for our trio to make it in ideal conditions and in broad daylight. How can this help explain certain crop circles that appear in just a few hours in the dark of the night without leaving footprints?
I know that they do go in and they make a mess in the field. What's that got to do with the crop circle phenomenon? They stamp crop down.
Michael Glickman qualifies himself as architect, engineer, inventor, and teacher. He has been studying crop circles for over a quarter of a century.
You can't do anything without leaving dust, marks, clues, trails.
The big question is it real or is it a hoax? It can be reasonably said that the vast majority of these patterns are clearly man-made. The evidence is on the ground to demonstrate and prove that. It gets muddy, it gets messy. You can imagine what 10 men wandering about in a field for 5 or 6 hours are going to do in a limited area. There's a residual element, 3, 4, 5, 10%, no one can be fully sure, that defy rational explanation.
If most researchers agree that 90% are created by humans, who makes the others and how?
It's an intelligent phenomenon that exceeds our comprehension. Crop circles always appear behind our backs.
This exists from elsewhere. I have no way of understanding it.
We want a specialist who can tell us that's a real one, made by aliens, or that's a hoax, created by humans.
On the morning of 11th August 1996, a young crop hunter claims to have filmed several strange lights close to Oliver's castle. On his video, we can clearly see 2 balls of light flying above a field. As if by miracle, a crop circle appears just beneath them. The footage created doubt, true or false, but the video is not the only evidence. Several witnesses claim to have seen such lights.
I've taken several photographs, and I only see the lights when I get back to the studio.
What is this strange appearance in the center of the photograph that Philippe did not see with the naked eye?
I think this is a very clear sign of a form of intelligence that is not from our planet.
If such balls of light remain invisible to the naked eye during the daytime, at night, many people claim to have witnessed similar paranormal appearances over the landscapes of Wiltshire. Equipped with night vision cameras, a Mexican television team are making a special program that is broadcast live. They intend to record the phenomena.
Everything is ready. We just need our special guests, UFOs. Why are we here? Because we have the intention to record on video what so many people have seen. Strange lights flying above fields where crop circles appear. We call them balls of light. Everybody dreams here, imagines so many things. We have to be as rational as possible, not dream.
No volar.
On the other side of the planet, in Mexico, millions of viewers are on watch in the hope that Fernando and his team will record the ultimate image, an unidentified flying object.
Well, we didn't film any mysterious lights, UFOs, or the making of a crop circle.
Despite their deception, the Mexican team say they have felt out-of-the-ordinary sensations since their landing in Wiltshire.
Crop circles work. When you visit them, you feel good inside, happy. I don't know why.
Not long after the Mexican team leave the site, several strange lights appear on the horizon with varying intensity.
Wow. What is that thing? Wait, get your head out of the way. Move to the right. Get out of the way.
Our cameraman captures one of them on camera. The lens is zoomed close in tight. In the distance, a shimmering ball of light. Here is a closer look at the same shot, blown up 500%.
I was sat in the formation around about midnight. Some kind of envelope, some feeling of electricity or whatever it was, like an envelope, come down over that position where I was, and suddenly I couldn't hear any of the animals or the crickets. Everything went dead still, dead quiet. And then this orb of light appeared in front of me. Not an alien spaceship, but something that had tuned into the reality. And it wasn't super bright. It was like a translucent orb, almost like I could almost see through it, in fact.
I heard a surprising sound. One afternoon, I was in a field when I heard a multi-dimensional sound in the sky. Two friends were with me at the time and heard it too. Like cloud speakers turning in the air with varying volumes and frequencies. A sound impossible for me to explain.
All the air was vibrating in my face, and it was like, bloody hell. And this is on a windy hilltop. I was well awake, and it was like an object of some kind that was invisible, but thumping like a loud heartbeat. Must have been like this far from my face, and it was like standing in front of like a hi-fi speaker, you know, like in a club or something. Yeah, what is that? And it moved around me like 180 degrees from front to back, and then stopped and just blinked out, and that was it.
This means there is an energy vortex. We don't know where it comes from, but it definitely exists.
Nikola Tesla, a famous engineer, once said that we should think of the universe as being a vortex, energy, vibrations, and frequencies. To illustrate this, a little salt on a board is placed near a loudspeaker. Under varying sound frequencies and volumes, the salt forms perfect geometric patterns that change as do the frequencies. Could this science, called cymatics, help reveal some of the truth behind the creation of crop circles? Mysteriously, nobody has managed to record such sounds from the balls of light. If there is no recorded evidence of sound, some farmers have clearly identified visual clues in their crops.
It's not like me to normally sort of say that there's something weird and wonderful going on, because I like to take a fairly pragmatic and scientific view of most things. But some of them are certainly man-made. I think most of them are certainly man-made, but there are one or two which I can't explain. One was where the crop was lying perhaps 30 centimetres off the ground, and it was as if the stems of the wheat had been steamed over. It grew normally until the day before, then overnight it seemed to undergo some really peculiar change. What I noticed in the field in Pusey, where we had what I would call a ghost circle, the crop grew horizontally up until the first node, and there it bent at an angle of 45 degrees, right on the node, and you can see how difficult it is for me to make it bend on the node. And then when it got to the second node, it bent again at 45 degrees. And the result of that is that the crop in the circle was lower than the main crop by about 15 centimetres. So you had a very distinct circle, 15 centimetres lower than the rest of the crop, although the circle was still standing corn. Now, I can't explain how that happened. I certainly can't explain how it happened overnight, but I'm pretty sure it can't be done by either man or machine or any kind of animal.
For Charles Mallet, the wheat has been forced to bend over by invisible energies.
So we have fully mature wheat, the plants are dead, and the seed heads curl down and become rigid in this position. If I'm a hoaxer, if I want to make a hoax crop circle, well, however good I am, I'm still going to leave the plants in this condition. My point is, in genuine crop circles, in fully mature wheat, these seed heads appear to be straighten themselves out all through the layered crop, and it's something that cannot be produced physically, mechanically, by a man with a plank of wood. It suggesting to me that some kind of energetic process has happened there to cause those plants to lay down and then straighten them all out as if like water has flown through. In laboratory testing, it's been evaluated the principal effect on the plants which caused them to lay down was some form of a microwave-type radiation hitting the plants in very rapid bursts, causing some degree of heating. It just brings the plants down. And it seems that there are residual biological effects, and that includes effects on the capacity for the seeds to germinate much faster.
What is this mysterious microwave radiation that Charles Mallet speaks of? Could it be a beneficial source of energy?
My dog normally runs around and goes hunting and chases rabbits and does all sorts of things. But here, she just lies very quietly and sleeps. But there is a nice energy here, there is, definitely, because it is a beautiful place.
For many visitors, there is a mystical source of energy in the crop circles. In some way, it affects the blood system. When in contact with the formation, white areas can be observed on the skin. When removing the hands, they disappear.
And there's nothing there now at all.
No. Interesting. Strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like reverse chicken pox.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, there's something emanating from the plants that's affecting the microcirculation in your hands.
Look at that.
Somewhere. See that?
The ends of your fingers going.
Well, it's the whole hand.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
And if you stand back up and watch them just fill up blood again. See?
Wow.
I don't know why.
Interesting. That's a good one, I like it.
But it's something physical.
Yeah, it's something you can observe.
It's instant, yeah. And you can see, you know, Chrissy's hands, when she stood back up, just filled back up with blood.
Yeah.
Cool. Very interesting. They're talking to us. We need to have some form of communication coming back and forth. And I think we have to just listen and always listen. I think that's kind of the key. But we really don't know, right? Until they maybe actually come down and tell us.
There is no message, there is communication. A message is when you ring home and tell your wife to switch the oven off. And the communication is when you go home and stroke her hair. And this is a communication. We're having our hair stroked. But in our culture, we want a message. Who's doing it? Why? Where from? What they want to tell us. And we don't realise that they're just stroking our hair.
Francine and Patrice are guides to a group of French tourists, convinced there is a message to be understood.
I have a group of visitors who want to see crop circles for themselves. The first thing that surprises them is the sheer size of the formations. You can't tell from a photo just how huge they are. It's such a beautiful crop circle with a magnificent symbol of a five-pointed star. I could never create such a piece. It's woven in one direction, woven in the opposite direction, bent one over another to create a star that we can't really see from the ground. It's remarkable. Everything is merged together with such precision. I'm always amazed to see such perfection in these drawings.
We are five-pointed stars, 2 arms, 2 legs and a head. That makes a star. There are all kinds of traditions about the five-pointed star. It's a very ancient symbol that contains so much information. The human aspect, masculinity, the pentagon, femininity, the pentagram, etc. It opens a whole chapter on symbols. But you need the basics to understand and recognize the different symbols.
This was not a couple of concentric rings. This had some attention paid to it. If you center on that position and draw 7 circles which precisely kiss each other, which is pretty hard to do, that circle defines the outer orbit ring, and it defines the inner laid circle. Now that is a level of competence and skill and geometric mastery. The circle is the symbol of God, of heaven, all that is, divinity, spirituality. It is a symbolic gesture of a reconciliation between the earth and heaven.
For Michael Glickman, crop circles always refer to ideas, schemas, mathematical formulas. Pi, the golden section, complex geometric theories such as Euclid.
And we are too dumb to fully understand it.
You have to get higher to see it. It's very symbolic. To get a view of anything, you really have to rise above it, open up your awareness.
Rise above, the key words often pronounced by crop hunters, both spiritually and physically. Each tourist will take off for a personal 20-minute flight over Wiltshire for a bird's-eye view of the latest formations.
Our group is living a true moment of bliss. We share love and good vibrations. It's a whole different experience than a regular group excursion where you run around looking at must-see stuff. Here, we leave in the morning without knowing what we're going to see. We have ceremonies that are really profound, sacred, and interesting. These mysteries go far beyond us and connect us to our hearts.
Wow!
Wow! What a landing! That was great.
Why
doesn't it last longer? Okay, thank you.
Ok, merci beaucoup.
There are people that can connect to this phenomena. Maybe with aliens, our brothers and sisters from the stars, to whom I say hello, who are probably making these crop circles.
Roger, have you in sight. Do an overhead join and then just land on 2-6.
The first flight to return creates an excitement amongst the group.
There was a small one in the corner of a field. The pilot said he had not seen it before. It had only just appeared.
We fly till 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, and then the next morning we're flying, and the crop formation's there. So I don't know how it happens. And you've probably got 5 hours of darkness in the summer, 5 or 6 hours. So it's just amazing. Yeah, the long barrow, he just said. The long barrow, southeast, the long barrow.
Yes, I've seen the new one. It's beautiful.
Do you want to know where the new one is?
Yes.
I'll show you on this map. You have a map?
Yes, please. The new one this morning.
Yeah. It's just here.
Okay.
Did you know about them, Francie?
Well, I don't know where I am now. Where is it?
Let me show you.
On that morning, the French group discovered a small crop circle that had not been reported before. It is situated close to a larger formation. A certain proximity between two crop circles seems to occur regularly.
It is a mystery to us because I'm flying every day and we've never seen anybody making them. And I know they've had people out at night trying to find people making them, but they've never found them, never caught anybody. So it's difficult, isn't it? How it happens, I don't know. I really don't.
Questioned by Philippe Ullens, some geologists have compared the force of a crop circle to that of lightning.
In a way, it's like someone was drawing with lightning. I once spoke to a farmer who said it often takes 10 years for all trace of a crop circle to disappear, because the impact of the energy on the soil is just so powerful.
Another mysterious happening appeared on our screens during the film shoot of the harvesting. After the combine harvester had cut the crops, curious rectangular tracks were left on the ground.
I've never seen it before, and I've seen a few of this kind of film. This is part of the inherent crop circle mystery. In my view, I've only been involved with this for a quarter of a century, so what do I know?
To accept that we don't know is interesting.
There's nothing that fascinates us more than stuff we don't understand. So, yeah, I do find them very beautiful, and I'd be sad if they stopped.
2 to 10% of all crop circles remain unexplained. Perhaps we need to accept that there is not always an answer, or open-minded enough to believe in other forms of intelligence.
This phenomena goes beyond us.
We are absolutely not alone, and probably never have been, and most likely never will be.
What this is about, I think, is to just stretch our consciousness to the point at which we accept that we're not number one in the universe. There are others, and they seem to be
far more talented than we are.